Harboring no true loyalty for their new allies, they will go to any lengths to ensure their dark plans come to fruition. As one of the Forsaken, you must massacre any who pose a threat to the new order, human, undead, or otherwise.
Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Oh, here's my pink hole.
So my wind riders are trained to fly quickly through the hot Baron's air.
Good enough. Dignity and respect is the bare minimum. It's the floor of where we can be. We must set our sights higher and focus on intentional inclusivity because there are still far too many people out there, not just LGBTQ individuals, that feel marginalized, shut out, or discriminated against. So for all of you out there, I ask you to set out your symbols of pride. Share your pronouns in your email, particularly if you're a person who doesn't think they need to. Initiate difficult conversations about racial and gender barriers, and share a bit of your vulnerability in a way that draws others in.
He sounds like the dollar store brand Michael Jackson. I want you to share your inclusivity.
Sticks, how do you sit in the room and not laugh though? Like, how could you be in the? I'd be in the crowd and start talking, and I would just be like, I'd just be cracking up because it's so absurd. You know, but
they know they're going to get
canceled, right? Can you
imagine they're going to get disciplined?
Can you imagine being in one of those seats during this particular speech? I want you to think of inclusivity.
Yeah.
It'll be really great for military purposes, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I had a debate about this last night with one of the woke gender crazies on whatever podcast. And this actual very idea came up from this clip. The idea here is, well, what happens if you have an Orthodox Christian that believes that they're lying to you by not misgendering you, but you feel that you're pressed if they do misgender you? So both of you feel like your dignity as a human being is being taken away from you. How do you reconcile that absent separation? And she had no answer. And these people, like this one talking right now, has no answer for that question either. How do you reconcile those two worldviews? You can't reconcile them.
Yeah,
that's the problem with rights.
I mean, the problem is, like, with the military, you kind of want to be pragmatic, right? So you don't really want people to have to dilate when they're on, the battlefield. It's probably not the greatest idea in the world. It boils down to pure pragmatism. If this is some desk clerk or something like that, it's like, okay, who gives a shit? But if it's somebody who has to man a machine gun, I think that probably matters a little bit more.
Yeah, a bit,
I'm sorry, but the drones aren't flying because, I have to go and do something else. I'll be back in like half an hour.
Well, not only that, but how demoralizing would it be if you're in a war and you're around a bunch of badasses and you're walking through the streets of, wherever, Kosovo with your badass machine guns, right? And you're just yoked out and you've got your vest with your full battle rattle, you're strapped with grenades, and the guy next to you is like, hey, everybody, you know what I mean? How embarrassing would it be and demoralizing for your squad to have to deal with that to begin with?
Sorry, guys, I gotta take a minute. I'll go into this bunker. Just give me 10,
The enemy is right over there, fellas.
Yeah, I was thinking about the demoralization when you were saying, how do you not laugh? Because you can't laugh, right? If you're sitting in that room, like you're gonna get like, what do they call it in the military when you're gonna get sanctioned or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it.
Court martial.
So you have to sit there. You have to just kind of sit there and take it. By the way, did you guys know Trump There was a report that came out that he was going to kick all the transgenders out of the military. That ended up not being true, but it would have been.
Well, he did. Trump put out a policy saying that any type of public school system which promotes any sort of family values external to the nuclear family, he was going to try to pass federal budget cuts towards those systems. I think that that's a great first step. When you look, half of morale, though, is the feeling of being badass, the feeling of being untouchable, the feeling of like, that's how soldiers hype each other up before missions. Right. You ready? I'm ready. Hoorah! Right? Yeah. You look badass, bro. Let's go out there and kill the. I mean, that's half of it. You imagine going down and being like, Harper, man, you look like a killing machine, and he's like, yeah, and he goes to the next one, and you're like, man, and you know, Parker, you look awesome too, and he's like, yeah, and you go to the last one, and you're like, and you, Cindy, you are looking. Thanks, guys. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. No way.
You all have the power to take intentionally inclusive actions to ensure the multiple perspectives that we know make us stronger as we devise winning warfighting strategies get heard.
Imagine my surprise coming to the gas stations here in Ireland being like, what do I do? Where do I put my credit card? I walk in the station, they're like, oh, you fill your gas tank first and then you pay. I'm like, how do you stop people from just filling up their tanks and driving away? And they're like, we trust Ireland versus America, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, that's a localized thing. There's many states where you pump before you pay still. There's all sorts of localities in Michigan where that's the case, or you can do either or. It just depends on where you're at. It's not like some mainstream policy. Though I will say that a number of gas thieves ruined it for most people. There are still plenty of places where you pump before you pay. In fact, I've been, just a few years ago, I was through a gas station, I believe in Kentucky, where I filled up my tank and forgot to pay. And I was, you know, a couple hours down the road, and I went, oh, shit. And I called like 3 gas stations. I couldn't remember which one it was till I got it. And he's like, oh, yeah, it happens all the time. Took my card over the phone, and I paid him. So, you know, but it's based around, again, kind of the idea of the high trust society. And they have it, and we don't. So.
Here in New England,
I mean, it's probably a rural area in Ireland, and it's probably like more rural areas in America where that happens, I imagine. In a big city, it's probably harder.
I don't think I've seen it in a big city now that I think about it.
People are noticing her nose ring, by the way.
Yeah.
There might be a reason for this.
Yeah, not a good look. She sounds like she's from Boston. She has that accent a little bit I picked up on.
I went over to Ireland.
Matters. Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having...
Cope.
You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter any more than me looking at your head and seeing that you have a brain and telling you have an awesome set of tools makes me a damn neurosurgeon, right? Like what we do, what journalists do, what you did in Mississippi, what Al Jazeera does in the Middle East. You don't proclaim yourself to be a reporter. Like, that's nonsense. Like, being a reporter's hard. Really hard. You have to care. You have to do the hard work. You have to get up every single day and say, I want to get to the closest approximation of the truth without any fear, without any favoritism.
Are most reporters these days just sitting at a computer at a desk like
this dude is completely fucking delusional.
Well, he's not just coping.
Being a journalist is hard. Yeah, try being a YouTuber. It's probably a lot harder than working at MSNBC. Jesus Christ.
Now, IP, how is it that you can manage to cope that hard and sound like a whiny bitch at the same time? How do you manage to do that perfectly, where you're whining at the top of your shrill voice and coping that much at the same time? Of course, the alternative media is Twitter. The media moguls have known this for a long time. They have tried now to steer, starting with Don Lemon and many others, people over to Blue Sky. It's not working out a bit. If you go to Blue Sky, it's amazing amounts of cope over there of liberals actually posting things like pictures of them all hugging and leaving the conservative out and going, and they pretend the conservative is seething. But nobody even misses these people. They don't give a shit. I haven't noticed any distinct difference in Twitter and engagement or anything else because these personalities have left. Nothing. Right? These personalities never engaged there anyway, is the truth. Then moving over to Blue Sky means absolutely nothing. And they're pissed. They are pissed that the citizen journalist now has as much power as they do. Guys like Steven Crowder set out poll watchers in the last election, made a huge difference. This is not something the mainstream media is used to dealing with.
And by the way, Blue Sky is an absolute wasteland. If you go over there and you search anything politically related, it is literally the world's worst echo chamber. The funny thing is, liberal commentators will complain like, well, X is a right-wing echo chamber. It's all a bunch of Republicans, as though, there isn't a non-English speaking audience there at all. But then you go over to Blue Sky and you search, let's say you search Trump. What are you going to see? It's 99% nothing but Trump derangement syndrome. There are a couple of conservative commentators. They've made their own echo chamber, their own containment chamber, so to speak. That's funny, number one. And number two, then you've got these people, they think that the title of journalist means press pass and therefore prestige. And they think that that makes them special. And so what they really hate is the fact that people like us are capable of registering 5, 6, 7-figure audiences with much less overhead, with much less effort, and with much less coercion. That's the only thing. They're jealous of us. The funny thing is that Rachel Maddow is probably jealous of at least one person in this call at this time.
Well, and probably looks like more of a man than most of the people in this call right now. But that aside... aside from Rachel Maddow, you bring up this great point, which is that the average guy now in his kitchen, his basement, his spare bedroom can have more of an effect on the culture than a massive media pundit. And that is insanely dangerous to the political establishment, and it always has been. And this is why YouTube and X and places like this were so heavily censored. Musk has tried to do this great balancing act, which has been very difficult. I've watched it since he got in charge, which is there has to be some level of moderation which occurs. You can't have unlimited free speech on these platforms. Not possible because of death threats, revenge porn, all these different aspects which come into play spam on social media. So he's had to kind of balance this fine line of allowing you to push the threshold a bit without going too far, for the purposes of censorship. And I think for the most part, he's done a pretty good job. Most people seem to be pretty happy with what they're allowed to say or not say. Some people want to push the envelope too far. They want to shout the N-word or, things like this and say, how dare you censor me? But there does have to be some limits there for the purposes of advertisers, right? These companies still have to make money, including X. So there has to be some level of censorship. But what these media pundits want is they want misinformation to be gone, and misinformation is anything which disagrees with them. That's what they really are after when it comes to tech moderation.
Yeah, I just want to throw in my 2 cents too. When you were saying guys whining and coping, it reminded me of how there was some study that came out a few years ago about how journalists are like a bunch of neurotic alcoholics, basically. They're just really shitty people.
Oh, well,
do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everyone.
Why do I get the sense, by the way, that dude was trying to emulate Obama?
Extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do.
Is he my boyfriend?
Scarborough, right, makes my point for me, and Stix's. Think about what he said there, an alternative set of facts. This means if you're disagreeing with us, you're wrong. You're providing misinformation. You are a problem to the system and establishment which is in place. That's what alternative facts from these people means, is you disagree with us. Now, Scarborough recently, when I was on Tim Pool's program, we went over this. He recently, in his prime time slot, only had about 20,000 viewers. About 20,000 viewers in his prime time slot in the evening. And that's a death sentence for guys like this. He moved over immediately, called Trump, said he wanted to begin working with Trump again. Now that he became president of the United States, the Trump administration has all but told these guys to go fuck themselves, as well they should. And so Scarborough is back to lapping the scraps from the MSNBC table, while his old boomer population of consumers is dying off, as well they should. Fuck these people. They're scum, and they need to go exactly where they deserve to go, which is in the dustbin of history.
Was it Joe Scarborough or somebody else who allegedly literally gave the death sentence to somebody else? And by the way, I couldn't help but notice that Al Sharpton was there.
So
yes, what an intelligent panel.
Yeah, they're man, these guys, they really know what they're doing, don't they? Sharpton.
Or is that, oh no, that's not Sharpton. That's somebody else that looks like Al Sharpton.
What do you mean? Isn't that Al Sharpton in the upper right? I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, that's Sharpton. These are high IQ guys doing all sorts of MSNBC interviews as Al Sharpton.
In his childhood bed? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Does his mom love me? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Am I his +1 to 1 to 7 corporate events? Yes. Do we use AI to see what our fake kids will look like? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Do I see him 4 times a week? Yes. Does he keep a toothbrush here? Yes. Is he here right now? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Am I his girlfriend? Yes. Is he my boyfriend? No. Am I okay?
No.
Okay, I talked about this one a little bit yesterday. I want to get your opinion on this, Andrew, because I know you this is kind of your wheelhouse, the whole whatever podcast thing. And we know there's a lot of problems with modern women, but when I listen to this video, what I'm hearing is the woman trying to explain from her side that she wants the commitment, but she's not getting it. How common do you think that is, and how much does that relate to sort of the problems between genders these days?
Well, what happens is it's a standardization effect. So men have much lower standards for women than women have for men. Their standards are very, very, very high. And the reason is because really ugly women can have sex with really good-looking men. Men don't care. They'll screw them anyway. But when that happens, unfortunately, they get the idea in their head that those types of men will commit to them as well. And they don't. So what's happened as a problem or a symptom of this is that modern women will sleep around in their 20s, often with very good-looking men who are very rich, will fly them out, have sex with them, take them all over the world, all sorts of things, but they definitely are not going to commit to them. And so what ends up happening is the group of women competes over this small select group of men for a while, usually in their 20s, and then their standards become so outrageously high that they can't find a man to settle with. They have an unlimited pool of men. They just only want a select group of them. Usually they have to be above 6 feet tall. That seems to be a standard. They want them to make between $100,000 to $250,000 a year. And often they have to be handsome, or what is considered to be like a modern standard of handsome. Well, you have just decreased the pool of men who are available to you to less than 1%. Literally less than 1%. Just a man over 6 foot, you've decreased your pool into a small percentage, only about 11 or 12%. So that's what's going on with this modern phenomenon. And there's not much we can do about it, because it used to be that dating was localized. So you only had the pool to draw from of the men who were in the local vicinity, and that was it. But now it's global. You can go on Twitter and get people from any area code.
That's a really interesting point. I haven't thought about that much, because like me, when I was kind of pre-internet, and I remember like I started like dating and like kissing girls when I was 13. But it's like you say, it was localized. It was just like, here's a girl I met on summer vacation. Here's a girl I met at the school dance, whatever. But I look at like the incel thing, and I think, how did these guys get through high school without talking to women or dating ever through their whole high school? Is it partly because the internet is just has them like? What do you think about that?
Well, women have.
I wonder why. These guys never learned to talk to women. Why didn't they do it in school? That's like the most obvious place.
Well,
to start,
kids in school are terminally online, just like everybody else is. They have to be for all forms of communication. Like if you go to a school now, kids will sit at the same lunch table and they're texting each other. They don't even talk half the time. Almost everything is done online. When I was in school, this wasn't the case. I mean, there really was no online when I was in high school. The internet's not that old. People forget that, at least not the way it works now. But what's happening is when you bring up this localization issue, even women in high schools, right? Pretend they have a superpower. Women between the ages of like 16 and 26, 27, right? They're kind of like prime years, beauty years, something like this. Where men will essentially do anything for a pretty woman. They really will. And it's a superpower that they have, but then it kind of goes away when they're in their 30s. But everybody's competing for them when they're in that space. But so since they have all these options, they tend to go for the cream of the crop. Well, the cream of the crop is going to be 6 foot, $250,000 a year, very handsome, this type of thing. And that guy will fuck all of those chicks. I mean, happily. He'll take them, one night after your Monday, your Tuesday, your Wednesday, your Thursday. And now all the other men are competing against this coarse group of select men that the women are competing over. All women have access to those men because they're online. So there's just really nothing that can be done. In high school, you have something of a shot because you have localization. That's where most couples meet now, long term, is I met him in high school, we stayed together, but that's very rare. You're talking about 2-3% of couples. So once they hit their college years, it's basically over. And they scour for 200-300 miles around them for the type of men that they want. And there's not much you can do. The internet has destroyed dating. There's nothing that can be done about it.
I have a feeling that's a fairly limited proportion of people, though. I would like to believe, and call me naive maybe, if you will. I like to believe that this sort of individual is the exception as opposed to the rule.
I used to think that.
Because I'm 6'2" and make 6 figures, and I'm not handsome, so I guess 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I suppose. But in my experience, I think this kind of psycho chick is stereotyped for a reason. And I think it's literally the stereotype of the psycho chick.
Well, I used to think
these are the dregs of females, just as there are dregs of males. Like the average male isn't some brick shit house that goes crazy and smokes meth all day or anything like that.
I don't know that we can judge this chick that harshly. Like she's kind of doing like a
satire. Yeah, it's satire.
Right? Well, yeah. The other thing is, of course, people clout chase and stuff.
So. But Sticks, the problem is, I used to think the same way until I realized something that was really, really important, which is that women have that option. Ugly women have the option of getting good-looking men to sleep with them. Ugly men do not have that option. And because of that, it creates this very skewed sense of what is possible in a relationship for men versus women. Men
I'm
know.
an ugly man. I get laid.
Do you? I mean, you have a long-term girlfriend, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but you fit a category of over 6 feet. Like you said, you're rich. At least by most people's standards, you'd be considered rich at the 6-figure marker. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, maybe you don't have the most handsome face, but who cares, right? That's not the most important aspect. The most important aspect is that you're doing way better than 80 to 90% of the average Joes who are out there. And if that's the case, your options are going to be much wider than theirs, whereas ugly women's options are limitless. They can fuck a good-looking guy, and they can fuck an ugly guy. You might be able to have sex with some hot chicks, but the NFL player Tom Brady can fuck all of them. So the thing is like this is what you're dealing with in the modern dating. I've never seen a great argument for how to deal with it because I don't think there is one.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Andrew? Because you're talking about how so there's just a small select group of men that the women go after. And I think that's probably true on dating apps because I've heard that on dating apps, statistically, there's way more men than women on there. So a lot of the women aren't even on dating apps. And so I think for the men who are not in the top 10% need to start also looking outside of dating apps to find a
They
woman.
do. They look everywhere. The thing is like, you're right in this sense. Probably 30, 40, 50, let's just say 60% of people, will find somebody. They'll couple up with somebody, this type of thing. But, 40% of people not being able to do that is societally damning. It's society ending. The birth rate right now is not even at replacement levels. It's not going to be, because women value education, their fertile years. They're not getting married till they're in their 30s. They can't have as many children. It's that simple. And what's happened with dating is, while they're in those years of going to college so that they have their safety net system, sacrificing the fertile years for the education, is they're fucking. They're fucking like crazy. They're fucking all sorts of guys. They have body counts in many cases in the hundreds before they decide that they're going to settle down. By that time, the men who are in their 30s, who are now established, have good jobs, this and that, their pool of virtuous women to choose from drastically drops. So you have two sides of the coin, which are both problematic.
Yeah. All right. We are running a little on time for sticks, so let's go to the next one here.
I'm trans and I'm scared for the trans community. This is why people don't take us seriously. Me personally, me getting on TikTok and making my funny little skit videos about funny little interactions I've had in life. I'm the reason they don't take us seriously. Me personally. I also get comments like this of people saying that the reason the American economy is bad is because of people like me. And the reason our country's so fucked up and the reason the rest of the world laughs at us is because of people like me.
Yeah, probably.
No, you're not part of the problem. Is this meant to be a satire, or is this actually a serious video?
No, this is serious. This is legit.
Oh, so this is not a satire?
But she's also like, she's sincerely, authentically a freak. But what she's saying is, she's like, oh, you guys think I'm the problem? Like, that's funny. You're crazy.
I'm not, from that voice at that one point, I'm not so sure that's a she, actually.
Well, they said they're
sure?
trans, so I'm assuming biological female and living life as a man.
Can somebody send this clip to Clown World, please? He follows me on Twitter. So somebody send it to Clown World. Say, Andrew says you need to post this. That guy's cool. He'll post it. This is so funny.
What the hell?
Squishy tummy. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. He's got squishy tummy.
What the fuck?
It's my boy. He's already spoken for, so I'm sorry he's not available. I do sell blank kits, but that's all in order. I don't actually just have kits in stock. They sell really fast. So
what the fuck?
Anybody else get really, really uncomfortable?
Creeped out? Creeped the fuck out? It's very, very creepy the way that's presented. Yes.
So that's a doll. That's not a real kid.
I thought at first it was. I thought at first it was a real kid. I mean, it's very lifelike at first until a few seconds I could see that there's no breath, no mannerism. But the thing is by the way, why isn't the progressive left completely trying to dismantle this chick for that particular doll? Right? Couldn't they easily make this is a stereotypical type argument against this woman? I would think they could.
Are you referring to the fact that the doll looks like a mulatto? That seems like a really weird choice.
Well,
there's
also
nothing to even say about this.
Yeah, not just that,
Really?
but there's like almost Down syndrome like features applied to the doll, right? I'm just saying, I would think the progressive left would be losing their fucking mind over this, but they're probably praising it. So.
I mean, the only people buying these dolls are pedos, right? Like, why would anybody else? I can't imagine. Maybe a real weirdo, lonely woman who wanted to LARP, or guy who wanted to like LARP as a parent, right? I got to imagine the most commonly these are getting sold to just the worst perverts alive.
Well, for sure, yeah,
Probably.
For sure. I'm sure that's happening. The trade in the sex doll industry, especially when it comes to the minor trade, many times. Most administrations in the United States have tried to put the kibosh on that. Canadian administrations as well. Even in Mexico, they've tried to put the kibosh on that. But what's happened as an occurrence of this is there is a massive black market for these types of dolls.
Kids fuck off?
And you know, the government doesn't really know what to do about that. They don't know exactly how to regulate this because taking these people to court and proving that there was a victim is next to impossible. So, though we have court precedent for it now, I still think that this is going to be an ongoing problem we can't necessarily deal with in an effective way.
The problem is if there's no human victim, if there's no legit plaintiff, it's going to be real fucking difficult.
Yep. Real fucking
Have you seen videos like this being posted on social media of women on a night out? Well, police have arrested a 27-year-old man as part of their investigation into the videos, which regularly get viewed millions of times. The man from Bradford was arrested on suspicion of stalking and harassment, and Greater Manchester Police said as well as the publicly viewed videos, officers also uncovered more content behind a paywall, including suspected non-consensual nudity. GMP said that while filming in public is legal, this filming crosses the line into offences like upskirting, stalking or harassment. 60 officers are being deployed every Friday and Saturday across Manchester hotspots on the lookout for predatory behaviour.
But know that no matter what...
I mean, if it's upskirting or something like that, that does clearly cross the line. That violates the AAP.
Yeah, I wonder if that's true or they're using that as a justification. Like, I obviously don't know. They said allegedly non-consensual or as suspected non-consensual behind the paywall.
Well, that could be just like some woman's tits fell out or something like that while he happened to be filming. That shouldn't be illegal.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen these videos, but it's like they used to go around on Twitter a bit, and you would see them, and it's just like a bunch of women who are like out clubbing like this, walking around, and for some reason they did get a lot of views. For some reason, these really like intrigued people and captured. They wanted to talk about it, the state of society, and all that. But the problem is the UK is so fucked up that I can't put it past them that they would go after this guy even without the upskirting and that, and just say like, oh, like you're making women uncomfortable, basically. You know how they are.
Well, and the UK is going through a massive period of social upheaval. What I consider what's going on right there now is a system of freedom fighters who are actually trying to take their country back from a foreign invasionary force, which was led in by their legitimate government, who they are now quickly delegitimizing. So messes like this, I think, if they could get rid of the foreign invaders and reestablish a government which actually gave a shit about the people, I don't even think that this would be a problem. This is not a thing that traditionally Englishmen have had to deal with. It's just not. Same thing in Ireland, same thing in most of Western Europe. They used to have some really good value structures there from both the Anglican Church, Catholic Church, the established Christian order, and it's becoming destroyed quickly. And God bless the freedom fighters there doing what they can to put an end to that.
Yeah,
all they want to do is get a pint.
The next clip actually ties into that here.
What the British people are owed is an explanation. Because a failure on this scale isn't just bad luck. It isn't a global trend or taking your eye off the ball. No, this is a different order of failure. This happened by design, not accident. Policies were reformed deliberately to liberalise immigration. Brexit was used for that purpose, to turn Britain into a one-nation experiment in open borders. Global Britain. Remember that slogan? That is what they meant. A policy with no support, and which they then pretended wasn't happening.
Incredible things are happening. So that's Keir Starmer, how you say it, the Prime Minister of the UK, Left Party, Labour Party, the Socialist Party, basically.
Communist Party.
Yeah. Coming out and being like, there's way too much immigration. We have open borders. What the fuck is they have the conservative leader. I think I have a clip from her too. She's like this Nigerian lady named Baden Dog or something. She's saying the same thing. You got Trudeau in Canada saying there's too much immigration and we're going to start sending these people back. What's going on? Are we winning, bros? Is this what winning feels like?
Policy of birth rates is the issue. So now that the United Nations has gone $500 million underneath their forward projections, they also know that they're going to be $2 billion underneath by 2050. We have a massive crisis in the West of not being able to reproduce ourselves, which means either A, we're going to have to step up reproduction by having national plans which are associative to the actual people of these prospective countries so that they begin having families, or B, we try to replace them with immigrants. The problem is that the immigrant nations that we're recruiting from also have a replication crisis when it comes to their own populations. So you can only draft for so far. So war strategy plans from the United States to the UK are now beginning to take this into account. What the fuck do we do when we don't have enough young men to take care of our elderly like Japan? What do we do when we don't have enough young men to draft into a war against barbarian hoarded invaders who may come to attack us? They don't have the answer to that. Except, okay, unless we start repulsing immigrants and instead start incentivizing the natives of our own nations to reproduce, we're going to be at a massive global strategic disadvantage. And while that's not being publicly talked about yet, it will be in the next couple of years.
Sure, but like they've been doing the replacement for years. They've been saying, well, just bring in whatever Indians,
sure,
Somalians, whatever. Now you have Trudeau, you have Karstar, you have all these like liberal Western leaders saying we need to start sending these people back.
These were all based on UN projections, I think.
It has to be public opinion has gotten so down on the mass immigration that it's political suicide not to have some kind of harder stance on that.
They didn't care then.
Exactly the truth.
But they didn't care then. They didn't care when it was political suicide to not support Brexit. They didn't care when it was political suicide not to support mass migration. Trump ran as an anti-immigrant president, anti-immigration across the board. It was political suicide then to oppose it. Democrats didn't care. Globalists didn't care. But now we have a different problem. What happens when masculine nations like in the Middle East and masculine nations like in China, who are foreign adversaries who have a patriarchal system, decide that they're going to invade your country that can't even reproduce its own citizenry? The UN projections are all banking on that the global citizenry would increase in number, going up to 10 to 12 billion before stabilization, were incorrect. That's going to go up to about 9.5 billion and drastically drop. China is projected to have only half of its population by 2050. Half. That's 500 million. That's an extinction level event. Over in South Korea, you're at less than one child per woman, less than one.
That's like 0.7.
0.7. This has created a strategic paradigm where North Korea can literally just swallow them via the fact that they have the population to do so. The West is shitting its pants over this issue, and nobody even knows about it yet.
Oh, they know about it. Elon Musk has brought up this issue many times. I just find it really, really funny that leftoids have decided to co-opt this particular issue because they were arguing against it for 1,000 years, you know?
Yeah, they were. Well, and same. But it's the same thing.
Allow everyone in. Give us the huddled masses. But now all of a sudden they don't want the huddled masses anymore.
Sticks, do you remember?
But I don't think it's for strategic purposes, though. I think in their case it's only for political purposes. Only because the population has begun to wake up.
But Sticks, how do you reconcile this then? Do you remember the 1980s, 1990s Democrats who were always harping on why free trade was bad with and having these massive deficits with these other nations because it destroyed the unionization concepts in the United States of high-paying, good jobs? They were appealing to the blue collar, and they were essentially saying that having this type of global trade system with free trade and no tariffs and things like this were actually detrimental to the society of the United States. These were Democrats who were on that train at the time, while at the same time wanting foreign cheap labor to come in from Mexico and other places with their immigration policy. That has switched 180, right? But they didn't seem to care at all about switching those positions, even when they were politically painful for them because of lobbyist money. So I'm wondering if, in this particular case, they're looking at it and go, because I don't think Trudeau has backed off a bit on wanting a pro-immigration program. Democrats most certainly haven't. AOC's out there every day. We need more immigrants. We need more immigrants. All the Democrats are still saying the same kind of tune. So there must be some alternative reason that they're beginning to look at this whole picture as being problematic for the power structure going forward. And I think that there's a defense element to it. And I think that that'll be revealed over time.
Well, with Trudeau, I mean, he is Castro's son. I think the best example of that particular 180, I think the best example of that 180 is actually my own Senator Bernie Sanders from here in Vermont. He spent decades, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, railing against the concept of limitless immigration and things like that because it would hurt union wages. What does he do the second that he becomes a Democrat and switches the I out for a D?
More immigrants.
All of a sudden, I have no problem with this. I love immigrants. Illegals, there's no such thing as an illegal. Illegal people don't exist.
If you have $1 and I have $1, I have $2.
No, we have $3. We can always print another one.
We print another $1.
How are you doing for time here, Sticks? Because we are at the
I do have to get off because God, this is my third live stream of the day.
It was good to see you again, Sticks. I hope I see you again soon.
Yeah, it was fun talking to my man.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Well, maybe we'll do it again sometime, hopefully.
Absolutely, yes. Just message me, okay?
You bet.
All right, you two take care.
You too, man.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers. All right, what else we got here?
Obviously, I'm not going to do a whole deep intro or whatever on all this. I will say that I think a friend of mine's account from that I talked to like 3 or 4 years ago ended up getting compromised, and you know, sometimes you just gotta roll with the memes. It is what it is. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Okay. Sometimes it happens.
So a recap for our story so far with the Coomer Gremlin. What happened shortly after his wife left him for a twink on the sink and decided to go off to wherever it is that a formerly cooked woman goes off to. Destiny was having, during this time, an affair with one right-wing, conservative, you could say, maiden of the conservative mattress club, Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern, while they were having this affair, was, though we don't know this for sure, perhaps cheating on her husband with the Coomer Gremlin himself. But whether she was or not, we do know for sure that she was definitely screwing this guy. They tried to keep this under wraps to the point where they developed a conspiracy, Lauren Southern and the Coomer Gremlin, to defame one Rollo Tomasi by forging paperwork and pretending to be Lauren Southern's ex-husband. They decided to run this op against him to discredit him, to hide this affair which had been going on. The affair was finally exposed because Destiny was DMing various things to a married woman he was trying to sleep with. This married woman, he also sent her pornography of a woman, like, for instance, his orbiter Pixie sucking his dick, him sucking the dicks of men. There was just a lot of dick sucking.
Wait, hold on. Is this the Rose person?
Yes.
From the...
Yep.
Because I heard she was 18, so I assume she wasn't married.
My understanding is that she was married. But if not, I'll stand corrected on that. I don't think it's the pertinent key to the story. But while going ahead and DMing the porn of his various orbiters having sex with him and sucking him off, and him sucking off random grinder guys who have pot bellies, leading to a conspiracy that even him and Fuentes had engaged in these various things. This is being politically expedited, of course, by Fuentes' enemies. It's as false as could be. If that was ever true, Destiny would immediately out that as fast as he could, because it would destroy the career of Fuentes. It's always been absurd on its face. So what happens when all of this porn is released, that he sent out without the permission of the people he made it with to this woman, is that her account later gets hacked, or so the story goes, and this ends up on Kiwi Farms, where hundreds of thousands of people get to go see for themselves that this guy is one of the grossest coomers who's ever lived, right? And literally takes loads in his mouth, as well as being a cuck and sending out pornography of people he has made the porn with to complete strangers he's trying to sleep with. And now he's going, well, you just got to roll with the memes. Yeah, I guess you do. I guess you just kind of got to roll with the memes, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think you summarized it really nicely there. That's about where we're at. Good grief. The thing that pisses me off the most about this guy and his degeneracy is he's got such a big audience. He's got these dudes who look up to him and think this guy's living the life. You know, he gets to have sex with all these women, whatever. And it's like for most people aren't like sociopathic like Destiny. So there would actually be like a lot of emotional turmoil. You know, if like your wife left you, for example, this guy just seems like unfazed by it all. So he's a really horrible role model for any normal person.
I think he has, but he was phased by this and the affair that he had. He apparently was in love with Southern, and Southern apparently did not reciprocate, though I've been told that she's shown a lot of love in a lot of conservative circles. Destiny acted as the linchpin point for her entrance into Twitch politics. Southern was completely defamed by the left and the right both, and was left on the sideline. Her documentaries weren't doing very well, and her entrance back into conservative politics were basically null and void. What happened, though, was that she utilized Destiny as a linchpin to get into, at the time, a very popular segment called Twitch Poll. And Twitch Poll, I don't know if you're very aware of them, Twitch Politics was what Destiny was the head of. And so using him as an entry point there, she was able to get back into political streaming and carve out a pretty good living. The exchange for this seems to have been her vagina. Now, ultimately, I think going forward, his audience is going to remain. They don't give a shit. They're all Coomer gremlins themselves. I remember prepping for a debate against Destiny. I reached out to several people who were familiar with his debate tactics while I was kind of formulating which route I wanted to go. One of them I sent a DM to was Nick himself, and I asked him, what should I look out for when he does the spurg prattling and this kind of thing? And one of the things Nick responded with was, well, the thing is I was in a space with this guy one night, and I kid you not, every single person who came onto the space to have questions with me was trans or gay or in a poly relationship. So essentially, they were all just as bad of degenerate coomers as he is. So the thing is like ultimately, I think that this doesn't hurt him a bit. And as sad as that is on the commentary of the American political left, they just absolutely adore this shit.
Yeah. I know Styx is a libertarian, so we already know what he thinks, but where do you stand on like the idea of trying to outlaw porn in any way, shape,
Absolutely,
or form?
100% for it. There's nothing good that comes from society or to society from this, except all that comes is not only degeneracy but rampant human trafficking. The studies are very clear in places which outlaw it, and places that don't. The legalization seems to have a better effect on the prostitute themselves, but it leads to additional human trafficking of photos. Not to mention, we don't understand yet the destructive nature of these women's future because this is a new phenomenon. When little Johnny is in school, we're just now seeing the effects of when he's getting bullied and somebody comes over and goes, hey, look, John, you see how your mom sucks this guy's dick right here? You think she can do that for me? I've got $10. It's got to be the most demoralizing and dehumanizing thing which can possibly be done to a kid. I couldn't even imagine it having been done to me. It would have made me literally want to unalive myself.
There was a kid who did that recently, yeah.
Yeah, and we have no idea the destructive nature of the future for these women and their future offspring, but this has been a horrible detriment to society, and it's something which can easily be corrected, and at no real expense to society as a whole. The only thing that could come out of it is good.
Yeah, based. By the way, if you are low on time too, let me know.
It's your time, man. I made the time for you. I'm here.
All right, sweet. Let's do it.
I will give you all of me as long as I'm alive. When it's tough, I will not run. I'll stick right by your side. Woo! You held it down when I declared a war on my own pride. With zero hesitation, I am making you my wife. Do you want something real? Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, I'm telling you how you feel. Yeah, yeah. yeah.
Do you want something real?
Yeah, yeah.
Will you always tell me how you feel?
Yeah, yeah.
Will you love me every day?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And pray.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They say white people have no culture.
Yeah, I know. What were they thinking? They're going to go sit down to a nice turkey dinner after this. Okay.
I mentioned this in the Discord when I was picking the clips, because the full show that I put out is just raw clips called "You Can't Stop Progress," and it's like 2 hours long. So when I'm deciding what to do on the progress report, I usually go for stuff that is more ripe for commentary, like the more political stuff, the stuff that you're going to be able to like have a take about. But I was saying it would be funny if for the Styx and Andrew Wilson show, because they're both like so politically intelligent, if I just brought like nothing but shit like this and like people throwing piss jugs. I was like, what? Here's a fat person falling down, you know, like, what do you think about this?
Well, I mean, I don't know about Styx. He always seemed to me like he had a pretty decent sense of humor. But for me, I love that kind of shit as much as I like political commentary. You know what I mean? Because the truth is that all of it is political commentary in the end.
True.
Y'all like that?
I believe our country is a beacon of light that shines all over the world. A place of security, opportunity, and prosperity.
So this is who I was talking about, Kemi Badenoch. This is the UK current opposition leader, the Conservative leader. A lot of discussion on Twitter about nominating basically a non-ethnically British person to lead the Conservative Party, but it's nothing new. They had Rishi Sunak in there before. But so she's here though to also talk about how there's too much immigration, ironically enough.
Where people are treated equally, millions want to come here, but we as politicians have to do right by the citizens of this country before anyone else. Our country cannot sustain the numbers we have seen. We are reducing the quality of life for people already here because immigration is at a pace too fast to maintain public services, and at a rate where it is next to impossible to integrate those from radically different cultures. It is time to tell the truth. For decades, the entire political class in this country has presided over mass migration. Since 1990,
it's almost like they're getting the talking points handed down to them because it's so similar. Like she's saying almost like the ruling class, they did this to us on like, bitch, it was your party.
Yeah.
Your party, the party you lead now was the one in power for most of the time. What do you mean ruling class?
Well, and then the next step, of course, Nigel Farage, he was the head of the UKIP party. And, I would say the sole architect for Brexit. Now, Farage was a brilliant rhetorical mastermind. Farage could literally have you on the edge of your seat while you listened to economic talk. It was the most bizarre skill set that I've ever seen. But he'd go in and go, now, Mr. Van Rompuy, the biggest problem that we have here is that there's too many of these damn immigrants coming in, Mr. Van Rompuy, right? This guy was fantastic about it. These people are now adopting not only his talking points, but they're going to start to adopt this other aspect where they blame think tanks. They're going to start blaming think tanks. Oh, we were just acting on the information we had at the time from this think tank, from that think tank. That's how they're going to justify, even though it was our party who brought all this shit to you, we were lied to. Very similarly to how Clinton and the rest of the Democrats said the same thing about the invasion of Iraq. Oh, it was actually Bush lied. They falsified intelligence. We had no idea, even though all of them were essentially doing the exact same thing. They just try to shift the buck, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to shift it over to think tanks. Nigel Farage predicted this 10 years ago, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
1994, every year has seen more people arrive in this country than leave. Numbers climbed and climbed. During the last Conservative administration, we promised to bring numbers down. We did not deliver that promise. We ended free movement, but the system that replaced it is not working. Some of the increase in migration was for humanitarian reasons that few would disagree with, taking in refugees from Ukraine and British overseas nationals from Hong Kong. But that was not the whole story. We may have tried to control numbers, but overall, we did not deliver.
You can smell the fear, can't you? You can smell the fear. Like, there's an undercurrent, and the people I talk to in the UK tell me this, like, there's an electricity in the air. They feel like there's a powder keg that is ready to explode. And this is almost a global phenomenon happening all over the West. It's the same type of electricity that we probably felt around the J6 events, right? Where you kind of knew something was coming, you just didn't know what. You probably had that feeling. Many political commentators and people who are attached in politics did. And they have that same feeling going on in the UK, too. It looks like there's a whole lot of, okay, guys, we hear you. Please don't drag us through the streets, tar and feather us, beat the hell out, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. They do seem to be backing off on the rhetoric a bit. Though I think that there's a strategic purpose for why they're doing that. There does seem to be the powder keg element, and we have seen uprisings go on all over the UK, and they have basically tried not to televise them. They've said that they're going to round up all the people who are uprising. They're going to throw them in prison. They have not been successful in doing that just yet. So I think these people they're shitting their pants to a degree here, IP.
Yeah. Oh, it's LP, by the way.
Or LP, sorry, LP.
No worries. That happens. So this is like an old MSNBC clip. We were watching earlier. We had the Joe Scarborough with Sharpton and that. This. I saw this on Twitter and I couldn't believe that this kind of thing used to be on MSNBC.
Somebody was smoking in the bathroom. Someone was smoking in the bathroom.
Old Michael Savage clip.
What happened? Half hour into the flight, I need to suggest that Donna might take your... Because your teeth are real bad. All right. So you're one of those sodomites. Yeah. Are you a sodomite? Yes, I am. Oh, you're one of the sodomites. You should only get AIDS and die, you pig. How's that? Why don't you see if you can sue me, you pig? You got nothing better than to put me down, you piece of garbage? You got nothing to do today? Go eat a sausage and choke on it. Get trichinosis. Okay, we have another nice caller here who's busy because he didn't have a nice night in the bathhouse, is angry at me today. Give me another one. Put another sodomite on. No more calls? I don't care. Let's go to the next scene. I don't care about these bums. They mean nothing to me. They're all sausages. Next scene. On to the next scene on the Savage Nation.
Now, interestingly enough, Michael Savage, he was always an interesting character in the AM talk world. He was a California native, San Francisco specifically. And Savage used to really, really hate. He was considered the dissident right of his time. He hated Rush Limbaugh. He referred to him as the golfer. He referred to Sean Hannity as the builder and Bill O'Reilly as the dumb immigrant, right? He loathed all mainstream conservative politics because he said that they were doing everything that they could to destroy his message of three, which was borders, language, and culture. He thought that those were the three components to building a society, and he's right about that. And he thought that these people were all detrimental to that message. They were going to destroy the country by being too necessarily inclusive of the right wing. He was a prophet of his time, I would say, because that's exactly what ended up happening.
Yeah. And how did MSNBC go from that to what happened there? That's quite.
Well, Savage had a contract with MSNBC that they had negotiated out on the AM waves. He was kind of king for quite some time, second only to Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. He was number 3, essentially, in the nation. The Savage Nation was doing quite well. At this time, they were trying to broker various deals with AM talk radio hosts because the left was trying to push the Fairness Act. This was not going well, and they were also launching what was called Air America Radio. Air America Radio was the...
I remember that.
Yeah, that had Randy Rhoads, not the guitarist, but the chick, Randy Rhoads. She was the spearhead of Air America, along with Alan Combs and many others who ended up getting brought on board. As Air America Radio was being pushed in, these conservative talk show hosts were being recruited by major networks. This started with Sean Hannity. They moved him over to Fox News. You had Hannity and Combs. That became a show, and they would do his regular radio broadcasts and do Hannity and Combs. So they were trying to recruit these kind of AM talents because that's the only place they could recruit from. MSNBC offered a contract to Savage. That clip right there is what ended that contract.
Oh. Shit. Well, man, you really know your stuff. I'm impressed.
My name is Sunshine Rainbow. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, queen, and goddess.
Wait, you thought I only dunked on hoes?
I didn't really know. I didn't know. Yeah, you're a wealth of knowledge.
But an activist, a drag queen, and I'm sick and tired. I'm gonna recite some poems. That's small poems, so they're all together. This one is called I Am Somebody. I am somebody, I may be black, I may be white, but guess what? I am somebody. I am somebody, I may be rich, I may be poor, but guess what? I am somebody. I am somebody, I may be an immigrant, I may be a citizen, but guess what? I am somebody. I am somebody, I may be a man, which I ain't, I may be a woman, which I am, but guess what? I am somebody. I am somebody, I may be straight, which I ain't, because I tried that shit once and it didn't work
What
out.
it do? What it do?
All over. So all over the country, there have been... Now, this idea, I think you remember, about 10 years ago, this started on college.
What's up, Web?
The non-inclusive space, but it was necessarily inclusive of all people.
Uh-oh, we're going to pull more than one. Uh-oh, we're going to pull more than one. Die, bitch.
The enemy, everyone who was alternative to that was welcome to or my truth became far superior to the truth. And the idea that my truth,
that fucker spawns instantly.
Theory, the idea that the prism of history can only be told through the prism of the victim became vastly popularized. And this is exactly what you see as a phenomenon
What's happening, Web?
of that. And it moved directly.
Still on that PD2 grind?
Churches were the last bastion of resistance against the low freedom fighter of your truth, because it was a way to destroy objective truth. That is what Christianity focuses on. Space has become completely immersed with not only these lunatics, but so-and-so Christians, as I like to call them, which are essentially Protestants who use mainstream feminist messaging in order to destroy and subvert.
Reconcile this with the Bible's pretty clear on a lot of this stuff, and they just don't seem to have a problem with it. They're totally.
Dude, Mage is just so fucking retarded.
I can tell you exactly how it happened.
Class is just
so after the
so OP.
Second Schism, which happened between the Catholic Church and Martin Luther, Protestantism was born. All of the modern cults that you see are born out of Protestantism. I'll send you a copy of my wife's book, Cult Feminism. Over this phenomenon in depth.
Can you hear me?
So
Can you hear me?
Why is that coming up twice?
From these Enlightenment principles, which is then mixed in with the Bible, also gets combined with the unique Protestant idea of what's called exegesis. This is the idea that you, the interpreter of the Bible, can utilize the Holy Spirit to come in and tell you the meaning of the passages rather than church authority telling you this. And so you can interpret anything you want in the Bible as being to whatever you want it to be, because after all, the Holy Spirit is telling you this. Your exegesis, God himself, is showing you what the words actually mean, and that's how you end up with this lunacy.
I'm out of range. That's still charging.
Maybe I am naive to believe that Democrats would do anything about Putin, about Russia, and about Trump, about the MAGA party. Maybe I'm naive to believe that they would hold them accountable. They are traitors to this country. Every single one of them. Kamala Harris is a seasoned prosecutor. If she just sits back and allows this to happen, then what's the point of voting? You know, if our votes aren't gonna fucking matter, then what the fuck is the point of voting? And that's maybe why some people voted, because they just believed that it was bullshit. And they didn't believe that it would count. And, you know, to some degree, I don't fucking blame them. So if they just sit back and allow this to fucking happen, I won't vote again. I'll get off every social media platform forever. And I don't care what it
Do you think he picked out this music? He must have, right?
Oh, yeah,
He's
it was.
really like, this is my Braveheart.
It needs to be
moment.
impactful as I deliver this stunning speech, you know?
A map of the dispositions
well,
of some
how
of
the
their field commanders and
turntables.
agents.
Anybody
You
says,
can use this.
if we're just gonna sit back and allow these fucking traitors
Fire blast, fireball.
to destroy our country, then I don't want to fucking vote again. I don't care about the system, because the system will have failed us. So, you know, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but like, what the fuck is the point?
Okay, so real quick, let me backtrack briefly, because there's a bunch of people in my chat who are pissed and handing me L's because of my Protestant rant. It's not true of all Protestants, obviously, right? But you guys do have to admit it is true of many of the modern Protestant churches. So that aside, on this, I fucking love this shit, okay? I'm not going to lie. I love the fact that these people are suffering internally. I love the fact that their brains are being tortured day and night by Donald Trump. I love the fact that they're weeping all of the time. I love the fact that they didn't get what they want and they're throwing their little fit. And I love that I get to remind them of that every day, that I get to go on TikTok and say, how does that make you feel that we won? How does it make you feel that we get to make you suffer for as long as we possibly can? And we torture these people in the Crucible endlessly. We torture their minds with the memory of what it was like under Trump. And that it's going to be even worse this time, because he's going to want political revenge against his adversaries. And this is what they have to look forward to. And these bastards deserve every bit of it, because ultimately they have made our lives a living hell for years and done everything they can to throw the proponents of right-wing ideology in prison, debank, deplatform, and destroy them in every single capacity they possibly could. Fuck them.
Yeah, I agree, and I also enjoy their tears immensely.
Me too.
We are getting kind of close to the end here. A few more clips.
What's the point?
What the fuck?
Elon Musk. Did they say Mike Cernovich?
Look at this! Look at this troll! Look at her! Oh God! It's oh no!
Let me back up just a little. Okay.
Ew! Oh God!
What the fuck?
Gotta add the other language, right? I mean, we gotta add the other language.
What the fuck did I just watch? I just lost a lot of
No,
brain cells on that one.
The psychological damage which has been done to these people for the second time around, right? Forcing them to repeat their earlier trauma of Trump being elected the first time has literally been the privilege of my life. To watch these people have their second meltdown on MSNBC and to get to watch it again like it was the first time was the most fantastic feeling. To watch Destiny go, no, we're not going to lose, and watch his the entirety of everything he got together for election night completely crumble under him was definitely a privilege. I wish I could repeat that night. That should be Groundhog Day. That would be my perfect Groundhog Day. Is to just wake up every single day to capture that moment again and again and again. I just don't think I'd ever get sick of it.
Yeah, my viral. I was telling you before the show, I had a couple viral videos this month, and it was basically just libtards crying stitched together. People love that stuff.
So what is this?
This says you can't erase us, Nancy. Well, then you shouldn't try to erase women. That's all I have to say for any man that wants to be in a woman's restroom, bathroom, dressing room, locker room. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so wolf in sheep's clothing. This woman, I followed her very closely when this story was breaking, and she is a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Every bit as much of a feminist as J.K. Rowling and other subversives. It's just that in this case, she hates men so much that even when they dress like women, she still attacks them. So this only gets a half-based point. It's only half-based. The other part where it would be fully based if she came out and was like, and by the way, also I'm quitting office and I recommend all women do the exact same thing. And,
Yeah.
that would make it. That would complete the arc of making her actually awesome. But unfortunately, we're left with only kind of moderate rhetoric on Capitol Hill, and it's not particularly helpful because all it does is push radical feminist ideology. So while it's true that they may dislike the same things we dislike in some categories, ultimately their ideology is every bit as poisonous and dangerous as the trans ideology is.
Yeah. It would have been good to have Styx here for his thoughts on the trans bathroom debate. I don't know how he feels about that, but to me, it seems like kind of one of those linchpin issues, similar to like gay marriage. It's kind of like once you say who cares what bathroom people use, it's like how do you care about anything at that point? You know, how do you defend having any kind of standards if we're not going to say like keep grown men out of the same bathroom as like young girls and shit like
Well, the Crucible's ethos is not one step back, with the idea there being that if we take even for a second the foot off the gas pedal on the culture war, any small amount of ground we lose, we actually lose entire nations. We actually lose, entire battles just by losing an inch. And in this case, you're right. The second you give up ground for this, you lose the moral high ground for all sorts of other things. Where the Supreme Court can be challenged by men who come in and say, well, who can marry a woman? And the Supreme Court can't answer because it's full of left-wing lunatics. It goes ahead and usurps the will of the people who vote down things like gay marriage and just unilaterally decides that it's okay to do. It's a ridiculous system which actually disenfranchises the entire point of the democracy the left claims that it wants. And so ultimately, I don't think that we can take a step back. Not one step. I don't think we can take one step back on this. I think you're absolutely right about that.
You know what? Bet.
All right, this is like my favorite here. Okay, this one's good.
I mean to be at the Capitol to change the world, and I need everyone's help to do it. I mean to make the biggest spectacle I possibly can of myself with more than 20 million people at my back. Yep. I am weaponizing Blue Sky, I think is what I'm attempting to do. I am attempting to weaponize Blue Sky in raising me up to the level of giants so that I can say our piece.
So they're a bunch of insurrectionists then.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna leave the funniest part, my favorite thing about this is 6 likes.
6 likes.
I need 20 million people.
I aim to make the biggest political splash of anyone in history, and I need your help. Shut up, dork. Shut up, dork. Go back in Mama's kitchen and make her a sandwich. And shut your mouth, dork. We don't have time for you, nerd. Get out of here. Let the men do what the men do. We don't need this this geek. And by the way, can we just point out, he has a neck beard. You know, he has the... And it's not enough. Like, there's people who can pull off the neck beard when they have a full beard and it goes into the neck. But he has that whole white trash shit-eater little beard that's growth in. Where the neck beard is longer than the actual beard, that's how you know. You can always spot him that way.
There's Gordo's fat, stinky
ass.
ass.
Just watched of the women freaking out. That was like probably a little bit of a preview of what the Blue Sky insurrection would look like.
Yeah. Well, what's your take? What's your take here? So, these people have been trying and failing miserably to hide their meltdown. They don't want to be publicly ridiculed like they were the first time that Trump was elected. It's very clear that they're just as disturbed and perturbed by it as they were, but they don't want to leave themselves open for the public ridicule, so they seem to be moving into these safe spaces like Blue Sky, places like this, where they can't be assailed and ridiculed for their kind of overwhelming coping. Do you think that these alternative media spaces have a good shot of supporting the new progressive left who does not want to be ridiculed?
So I thought Andrew Torba had an interesting take on this, which is that he said that the balkanization of the internet is sort of inevitable. people who are given the option, like, hey, do you want to mix with everybody, including the people you don't like, or you just want to mix with people who largely agree with you and are like you, they're going to choose the former choice. So I have no idea about the viability of Blue Sky or anything like that, but I do think that seems plausible to me that we could be headed into a future internet where it's the communities are more balkanized and echo chambery, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, Torbo's been discussing the idea of the alternative economy for as long as I can remember. And when you talk about the balkanization of the internet, I went out, I remember, to Orthodox Montanica a few years ago. It was a great event. This was when I was a catechumen, still studying so that I could be baptized into the church. And his right-hand man went out to that event because he's also Orthodox. So surprisingly enough, I met him there, and we were able to have a kind of elongated discussion. And he made some pretty good predictions based on what Torba thought was going to happen with what you call the balkanization of the internet. And that Gab was unfortunately way too ahead of its time to take advantage of that balkanization. And what ended up happening, unfortunately for them, because they were the first to the market for an absolute free speech platform, was that the sort of element which is hated on the internet came in first and basically took it over, and they could no longer really take advantage of it the way that that I think alternative platforms in modernity can. So I think that he's been a very good predictor in many ways of what's going to, what was going to come. So
yeah. Oh, I had something there, but I lost it. Somebody said, is there a Libs of Blue Sky? There is, in fact, an account on Twitter called Libs of Blue Sky. Some entrepreneurial spirit was all over that.
Now you can be with us or against.
I remember what I was going to say. People used to say Gab is a political ghetto. Like there was kind of this, like, I don't want to go there. Like it's going to the political ghetto where all the, the most, I don't know how to put it, but like the most ratchet people online are all there, and so it had this kind of bad reputation that made it never really be able to take off.
Well, this was always my story.
Mass of
So
flesh is out there
I remember
picking
when I went on
daisies
Gab
and convincing
like,
the lady
Andrew,
knows
what's
how
your
many
experience
dupes
like
like
over
you
there?
into doing
So
the
here's
same.
what it's
No
like.
offense.
So at the time, the liberals had X. So you'd go over, pretend there's two competing towns. One is Twitter, the other one is Gab, and you leave this cesspool of Twitter where you're overly moderated. Everything is garbage. It looks like the kind of inner city that you just can't wait to get out of. And you drive over to Gabville. The second you hit Gabville, you go, man, the sun is shining and things are nice. The birds are chirping. The trees are everywhere. You walk down the street and the first guy says, "Howdy, neighbor. How are you today?" And you go, man, this is fantastic. This is great. Hey, thanks for inviting me here. And he goes, yeah, absolutely. Now, I just want one thing. Can you get on your hands and knees and swear allegiance to the white race now? Right? Do it now! And then you go, holy fuck, what's going on? And then they start coming out of the woodwork, right? And they're just screeching this shit at you, and you're like, okay, I think I'm going to go back to Twitter. I don't know what's going on here. This is a little too much for me. So it's just a little too in people's face, I think, what was going on Gab.
You have quite a lot of that on Twitter now as well. And I think really it's having the critical mass of users so that those people are like a vocal minority rather than a vocal majority.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, like, that was kind of my first experience walking into Gab. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, maybe we can get through some pleasantries first. Maybe we could get through, like a how you doing, neighbor? Maybe give me the tour before we just get right to the get on your knees and swear allegiance to the white race part. Like maybe butter me up a little bit first. Don't act like I'm such a cheap date.
First aid techniques.
It's us, but you need to be there,
Rest your weary bones.
ready, in whatever way that means to you.
Wonderful news.
So when I march on the cap,
people in the chat are saying Gab sounds pretty good.
Such a sight she is. I wonder how she's holding up.
So do you.
He says, we're bringing in people from South Africa at the moment. There's a huge amount coming into Australia who have disease. They've got AIDS. If that is not racist, what is
Next thing you
it?
know, you'll be coming back to rest after a long day's adventure or some stupid
I don't know if you caught the start of her little speech there, but I guess somebody in the what I'm assuming is the Australian Parliament said something like, "Oh, these people are coming in and they have AIDS, so probably Africans." I would guess she's talking, but I don't know. And then she's just like, "That's race."
Oh, what the hell?
It's not racist. What is it?
Look at this guy.
I see this and I think like AOC and its consequences have been a terrible development for the right. This like girl boss pantsuit politician like getting all angry and mic drop on the race.
Well, she dresses it down with the burqa, right? She dresses it down a little. It's like Glenn Beck, you know. He would wear the baseball cap with the suit. You know, you dress it down a little bit. But look at this little porker behind her. He can't even take her seriously. He can't even take her seriously. Watch the video again as this chick is screaming at the top of her lungs, and this guy is laughing at her, right? And this is the part that nobody sees or nobody ever pays attention to, is that even in their own chambers, they're mocked by their own people, even though they don't dare do it directly to them. It's pretty fun to watch.
Oh, it's not racist. Oh, somebody bring the dictionary.
Look at him. He's just like...
There was also... we had a video like a few weeks ago of somebody going around. It was like 1970s Australia. Be like, what does an Australian look like? And they'd be like, you know, whatever, blonde, blue eyes, tall, good looking, like joking, like that kind of thing. And then they did it in like modern, current year, going around asking people, what does an Australian look like? And everybody was kind of like, ooh, I can't say anything because and then one guy was like, maybe it's like they have the accent, but even that's exclusionary. I don't know. And I look at these two people and I just think, where are the Australians here?
Dictionary, because Senator Hanson does not know the definition of racism. The fact that you would say just weeks ago to Senator Faruqi, piss off back to Pakistan, you're not just vindictive, mean, nasty, you bring disgrace to the human race.
That's not very nice. That's not very nice.
Whatsoever, as a senator.
That's actually the last clip. Yeah. I don't know who she's talking to, but I kind of like him. He's kind of growing on me.
Oh, for sure. The thing is ultimately, now that you see the pendulum swing back, you see Trump back in office. It's not just us. It's not just kind of guys on the internet who are kind of fucking off a little bit and entertaining the masses who are having fun at the expense of leftists by endlessly torturing their minds. But politicians also, I think, are having some fun with this at this point. In Australia, where the right wing has been more demonized than any other political establishment, maybe anywhere in the West, I think that they are starting to try to have a ball back at the expense of these leftist lunatics who have made their lives absolute hell for, not in their case for 4 years, but in their case for 20 years. It took away their gun rights. The COVID restrictions there were monstrous, and their immigration policies have been absolutely decimating for such a small economy. So ultimately, the Australians, especially the men, are fucking pissed. And they're basically not putting up with the shit anymore. They're telling these women who are trying to usher in their new enlightenment of be nice to go fuck themselves. And I couldn't wish them more luck. I couldn't say, even though they lost the emu war, all right, they had a war with the emus. No, I'm not kidding. And they actually lost to a fucking bird. But even though that is the case, I still wish this overtly fictitious country the best. I do wish it the best.
All right, we've got just a few super chats to go through real quick, and then we'll call it a day. Surfing Cowboy sent $5. I wouldn't read this if Styx was here, but since he's not here, it says Styx is a homo. Bring on PvP or something actually interesting. All right, thank you for the $5.
Well, I'm a fan of PvP. I've talked to Bastion many times. I've been on the Kino Casino, their show. I think that he's an underrated political commentator because he's focused a lot more on the comedic and satirical aspect of making fun of lunatics on the internet, which I equally think is necessary, but I do think that he's a good political commentator.
Yeah, I'm not diametrically opposed to having PvP. I don't know if he would do it. Warski does not like me. I made a joke about the cocaine casino, and Warski blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, really?
You know, PvP may be in the cards.
I usually
someday.
just talk to Andy Warski about video games. He did let me down because he recommended that I get the latest Final Fantasy game. This was before they remade the Final Fantasy VII series. And he was like, it's the best ever. I got the demo. And then I got it. And I was like, bro, this fucking sucks. Like, what? Why? It's fucking terrible. And I'm like, why did you tell me to get this?
On PlayStation Plus, and I was like, holy fuck, I'm glad I didn't spend money on
Yeah,
this.
I did. I bought full price. Right? My ass is still chapped from it. Right? It pissed me off. But other than that, I mean, I think he has good video game takes. It's just that was not a good one. That was a bad. But I guess they can't all be winners, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about FF7 Remake. Standing While Poopin' sent $20. No message. Thank you so much, Standing. Appreciate the support. Surfing Cowboy sent oh, no, I already read that one. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, hold on. Let me check. Odyssey, Mr. Right sent $5, and there's just a "Don't Clank on Me" libertarian meme there. And Shift Demeanor sent 20 on Rumble. Great guests, great clips as always. And yeah, I think that's all of them.
Well, I appreciate the invite over to your show. Did you want to shout out where people can find you? We got about 4,000 live watching over here, another few hundred on Rumble.
You have 4,000 people watching your stream right now? That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I was about to offer you plugs, as I always do with my guests at the end of the show, but we got like about 700 people or something over here total. Yeah, I Hypocrite. Oh, you can find me on YouTube. I do a daily streaming show on YouTube called The Daily Cope. I'm on Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, I Hypocrite, all those places. So yeah, check me out. And you as well. I did put links in the description for Andrew and Styx's Twitter and YouTube. So
see these pricks? These pricks are like, yeah, it's only 3.6 thousand. You're rounding up by 500. What'd I say? You got to include Rumble. You fucking bad. By the way, 4,000 live between two platforms is huge. What the? What are these fucking beats? No pleasing these people. You know?
That's wild. I didn't know you got. Is that normal?
Yeah. If I'm doing a debate, it's usually 6, 7, 8,000 live.
Wow. Good work, man. You really blew up.
Yeah, we do pretty good. I enjoy having conversations like these all over the internet with gentlemen like you. I really appreciated your invite. I know we had talked back and forth on Twitter a bit before we were able to finally do this, but I really do appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, and thank you for coming. I think it was really good. You did a good job. Wonderful.
Yeah. Anytime. I love talking about politics, and anymore, unfortunately, I only get to talk about it every so often. Usually when I go beat up on Tim Pool for his stupid libertarian beliefs, I do that usually once or twice a month. I think that's a lot of fun. Other than that, I like the guy. He's a really nice guy, but I do enjoy debating with him. So you guys, everybody who's watching currently over on iHypocrite's side, my name is Andrew Wilson. I'm a political analyst, political satirist, blood sport debater, and you can find me on the one and only Crucible, which I'm the host of, and I hope to see you guys all over here.
Awesome. All right, that's the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for these super chats. Thanks to our wonderful guests, Andrew and Styx. You guys enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
You take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for now, but you know what we didn't get to do? Because I had to shift the schedule around a bunch. You know what we didn't get to do? We didn't get to do a fucking invasion this week. We haven't done an invasion this week. We gotta do the invasion! And there was a bidding war. I am very sorry to Silent, and I'm very sorry to Noah R., that I was not able to read these super chats live because I was invested in the show that I was on. But you guys have made it possible. You've greased the hands sufficiently enough for us to do a TikTok invasion. The Lord of the Sith demands one. So guess what, boys? We're going to come back here at 8 o'clock, and we're going to do an invasion. That's that. From all of us here at the Crucible to all of you out there in Crucible Land, I'll see you tonight. Oh, by the way, wait. Mr. Enigmatic, set up a raid, please. Can you set up a raid, Mr. Enigmatic? Tell me when you're ready. Tell me when you're ready, please.
Yo, dude, are you crazy in your mind?
Can you help me out?
Holy shit, dude.
Can you help me?
Are you okay, dude? Fix your jaw, my friend.
Yeah, I need help. No job.
The fuck?
Why are you sneaking away?
I'm uncomfortable right now, guys. I need to leave. Yo, this add-on is gonna make me a nerd attack. Yo, bro, this is so cringe. I don't know. You need that, yeah, but I cannot tell right now. Why? But you will this funny? No, but it's just like I'm not ready for this right now. You know, I need to like start slowly. It's not extreme.
Isn't ready.
Okay, don't. I need to not forget that do I have a.
What the fuck?
Don't run away from me.
Oh no.
You can't escape me. Why are you running?
I'm speed running, bro. I'm speed running.
Why are you running?
I'm speed running. I'm speed.
I'm faster than you.
I need to go. I'm reporting my base from my.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
Holy fuck! Are you crazy in your mind, dude? What the hell? What's wrong? Holy hell, man! I think. Wait, I have a question. Is Yam deaf? I think like target Yam. Does he took the undead with the mouth like this? Because he sounds like someone that you know he has a fucked up job, bro. Oh, he does?
When you are worried about giving gifts, you might as well consider a unique and creative flying hoverball. This magical toy can not only fly out, but also return automatically, bringing you endless fun and challenges. Whether gifting it to a kid or an adult, the flying hoverball will become their favorite. This flying hoverball is not only easy to operate, but also extremely fun. It adopts a unique design with built-in smart sensors and stabilization system, which can fly in the air and return accurately, allowing you to experience the unlimited fun brought by the toy. What's more, it's waterproof, so you can enjoy it outdoors on the lawn, at the beach, or by the pool. Whether as a birthday gift, holiday gift or festive gift, flying hoverball is an excellent choice. It can not only exercise children's hand-eye coordination and reaction ability, but also become a good partner for adults to release stress. Why not do it? Come and choose flying hoverball and bring endless joy to your family and friends.
Brawl actually gave me the staff as a reward for clearing Ragefire Chasm, so behold, the staff of Orgrimmar!
Oh, okay. Hey, it looks like his.
Well, that's probably a replica, a knockoff.
Hey, it looks like
It's
his.
just like, what are the odds of that, bro? A replica!
Probably got it at Staff Jarrah's.
Wait, hold on. Who's this guy? It looks like his as well.
Hey.
Coffee. Must be a gift shop nearby.
Oh, that guy's got the same.
What's up, loser?
Gift shop.
Gift shop.
Nearby.
Okay, where is this gift shop? I kind of want one. I like the way it looks.
I think they just closed. Brawl actually gave me the staff As a reward for clearing Ragefire Chasm's Hook, behold, the Staff of Orgrimmar!
Ooh, okay. Hey, it looks like his.
That's probably a replica.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. So like, the more I wait, the more I lose gold. Can you play the intro song you have? Hop, hip, hop, hip, hop, hip, hop, hip, hop, hop. I get a best. Hip. I am too tired to repeat. Wait up. Good. I could upgrade it. Raptor Ed. Okay, calm down, man. Holy hell. How beautiful are the chests in this game, no? No, but let's be real, like, chat, tell me tell me a few things that you enjoy in this game. The chests, no? Look how beautiful they are. It looks like, I don't know, man. Oh, we got the healing potion poggers.
From creating memories to finding the perfect gift, let us make this holiday season a little easier. Right now, save up to $60 on select AS battery sets.
If trying something new opened up a whole new world of possibilities, would you embrace it? If a small change can make a big difference, would you say yes? If it meant more energy when you need it, or starting your day on the right foot. If a choice is all it is, then today, say yes to doing better, to feeling better, to being better. With Rise Mushroom Coffee's creamy and delicious blend of 6 functional mushrooms, every cup can help improve digestion with long-lasting energy and immunity support. A better routine starts here.
What I got there? No way! Usually I will tea, but I don't have it on tea, bro. Oh, he's dead. Like, hello, is he done? He's gonna get shit on by the guard. Yeah. Bye-bye. Ça va mal, Malto Ben, PPC. Hoppa. Minus 10%, easy clap in the chat. Yo, I'm the devil in this game, I swear, dude. I am the devil. Isn't it, chat? Alright, oh yeah, I'm the biggest piece of shit, it's insane. Usually, I swear that I would have never killed him, huh? I swear that I would have never killed this guy. You know why? Because I usually don't ever kill like green mob. You know, I'm a really nice guy, yeah? There's a fire mage, right? Yo, bro, like you're kinda cringy, bro. Like, it's okay, we got it, man. Am I getting lair or what? Because this guy's a bitch, man. He's waiting till there's another guy to gank me. Wait, the level 34 is back. No way. Is there any damage in there? Look at the... Look, yo, bro, this guy is getting shit on by a fucking gorilla. Are you okay, my man? This guy's having a big problem with the gorilla. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, my man. You're gonna get level 43 at least. PPC? Is there is? Resist? Resist. Bandage, yeah. I wish I wasn't undead right now, you have no idea. Fist, I'm gonna... Oh my god, is he trolling? I don't want to spend like too much energy. Where are you going? In Africa, bro? You know what? Fuck that. He's lucky I don't have crippling. Is this? I'm so bad. Bye-bye, man. No way. He's gonna get gold raptor. Please, I gold raptor, bro. Watch out, man, too many PPC. Hey! No! Not PPC! Please. No. No. I cannot get too much. Easy clap in the chat, man, little piece of shito. Oh no, he's matched. Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Am I? Give me that riposte, baby, that was up. Thunderclap, I wouldn't use that really much, but... Oh, someone just got... No way. Regrowth? No way. Is this my grenade? Come on, bro. Oh my god, you... Wait, these guys... Oh, pop, no, you can't... Yo, chat, there's a thing. You cannot teabag. It's against the rules. You cannot teabag and slash dance like this after you kill someone, like in a 2 vs 1. He's watching the stream, bro. Oh, no, he's not. Watch out, Beethoven. Watch out. Watch out. Kobe. Fuck you, bro.
A new Planet Fitness is now open near you, and you can join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. We're talking a clean and spacious judgment-free zone and brand new equipment. Join today.
Now open in Titusville. Last chance to sign up for $1 down. Deal ends December 5th.
Stop typing idiot. Oh my gosh, no way he does this. Okay. Yeah, keep running, sugar boy. Yeah, keep running. Getting whirlwind staff today? No, I might go for whirlwind staff at like 40 for like mount money. Here's the way I look at it. I'm going to sell the whirlwind axe anyway because I'm a monk and I can't use it. From a glory perspective, is there more glory in getting whirlwind axe at 30 with throwing knife cheese in the river, or is there more glory going for the whirlwind axe with no cheese, head on, fighting the mob, big D, with my brain, charging in head first, but closer to 40? I think the easy answer is the no cheese, and you do it closer to 40. So I think that's what we might try, but we'll see what's good. So I think that's the plan so far. My wife said, I've heard dairy farmers say kefir. If you pronounced it like that in the US, people would look at you funny. Guys, my wife is never wrong. I'm pretty sure if you're walking around the US, you would pronounce it kefir, I guess, because people would look at you funny if you said kefir. Hey, you got any kefir? Just take the L. No, guys, I'm fine with the L, but like, here's the thing about language, chat. It evolves over time, right? If everyone says a word a certain way, it just becomes that way. That's why in the UK, words are said a certain way, and in the US, words are said a different way, because it just evolves. That's actually true, right? Totally. By the light, so finally some food. In the UK, we say things properly. So, damn it. All right. Americans evolved the metric system. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Kilometers make way more sense than miles. You guys win there. I concede. I don't know what the US is doing on that. That makes more sense. Celsius and Fahrenheit. Yeah, that kind of, wait, Celsius is 0 is freezing, and then above 0 is not freezing, and then below 0 is like extra freezing, right? It's just like easy. Yeah, I guess Celsius makes more sense too. Yeah, no, I think kilometers makes more sense. I honestly think the 24-hour time schedule makes a lot of sense too, versus doing 12 and 12, because it's like, if you say 7, then it's like, well, 7 a.m. or 7 p.m., right? Why not just have 7 and then 14? So I think the Euros are onto something with a lot of different things, but they're definitely saying kefir wrong. 7 and 19. Wait, am I? Oh yeah, guys, give me a break. I don't use that stupid system. Guys, give me a break here. I've never used that system in my life, and it's too confusing, which is why no one uses it. Goodness gracious. I was thinking it was 7 plus 7. Oh my gosh. Wow. Jeez. No, I being real, I actually do think it makes more sense. If you just think about it, it's more logical. Definitely. But I definitely am not used to it. Which, by the way, all right, for Europeans in the chat, I have a question for you. When we were out in Europe, people would still say, like, if it was 7 p.m., people would still verbally speak 7 p.m. But if they wrote it, they would say, what is that? 19? I don't want to mess this up again. What's up with that? Why would you not speak it as 19? What's up with that? That doesn't make, why do you speak it in like American time, but type it in European time? Because that doesn't make much sense, to be honest. We don't? Bro, you guys totally do that. When we were there, people, oh, maybe they gave us the American treatment